listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ. Engaging discussion by veterans for veterans. With your hosts, Gary Leverette and Jimmy Miller. Join them as they discuss various veterans programs, issues, play powerful and healing veteran-related music, and keep the American citizen informed on things they ought to know. Right here on the leader, WLIJ, every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 FM and AM 1580, and reaching around the world on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23 and by the DAV Chapter 43.
Good morning, Shelbyville, Bedford County, surrounding areas. I'm Gary Leverette. Welcome to the All Veterans Hour. My co-host Jimmy Miller's here. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning. Good morning to all our listeners. Happy New Year. I hope everybody's New Year started off great.
And we have a special guest this morning for the second time, Commander Alan Harris of Winchester Post 44, right?
That's correct. Thank you, Gary.
That's a good deal.
It took a while to get here, but I'm finally here. I mistakenly thought I knew where this place was because I've been here before, and I didn't do my research properly and got on the wrong road, and I went up and down the road. So anyway, nobody wants to hear that. But
well, you made it in time.
I'm happy to be here.
We're glad to have you. I want to say good morning to Jim Short. Jim, I know you're listening. I know you're not feeling well. We hope you get better. And we'll see you next month. And probably see you at the American Legion or DAV meeting tomorrow night. Anyway, veterans information. Alan, what's going on in your world now?
Gary, if I don't communicate anything else on this radio station today or for the near future, I want to make sure that everybody out there who is a veteran knows that the Senator Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Health Care and Benefits Improvement Act was signed by the President just a few days ago, signed into law, and so that program will very shortly be up and running, and it contains several items that are of interest to veterans, and I'll just go through a couple of them if you don't mind. The first one includes the House-passed Vet Tech Authorization Act, which would fully fund the VA Tech Educational Assistance Program to expand high-tech career opportunities for veterans and transitioning service members. The program has an 84% graduation rate and an average starting salary of over $66,000. That's starting salary. It also includes the House-passed Elizabeth Dole Home Care Act, which would expand access to home and community-based services at every VA medical center, which would allow severely ill and aging veterans the dignity of receiving their care at home rather than in institutions. It includes the House-passed Home Act, which would raise the grant and per diem rate for veteran homeless providers who partner with VA and provide ride shares to veterans for medical, housing, and employment appointments, and ensure veterans can get the resources they need to be lifted out of homelessness. It's big. It includes the Veterans Education Assistance and Improvement Act, which would cut through the red tape for the GI Bill and allow student veterans to use their benefits that best meet their needs. It includes the House-passed COPE Act, which would recognize the mental strain often experienced by caregivers of certain veterans by providing community mental health grants to help alleviate caregivers' concerns about stigma. And finally, it includes other bills such as the Relieve Act and the VA Emergency Transportation Act, which would clarify access to emergency medical care for newly enrolled veterans and would ensure that needed transportation between emergency facilities is not impeded by bureaucracy when veterans are seeking life-saving care. I hope that all of this comes to pass in a very short time frame, because it's a needed act that has been basically worked on by both sides of the aisle, and they set aside their differences to commit to veteran support and outreach, and I'm happy to see that.
We have a lot of veterans information this morning. Stopped by Ben Ely's office the other day, and Ben gave me some information to share that I think is very important to our veterans. If you are over 30% VA disabled, service connected, you are eligible for travel pay. And if you're 50 to 90%, you get 3 no-cost non-VA urgent care visits, including 14-day prescription network. And after that, it's $30 copay. But the first 3 visits, the VA pays for. If you are 100%, I know a lot of people are 90% unemployable, and they get paid the same as if they were 100%. But the reason they need to get that 100% is once they're 100%, then they get dental coverage. And then their spouse is eligible for CHAMP VA. So if you're 100% disabled, your spouse is able for CHAMP VA, which is medical care for the spouse, and the spouse at that point can go to any doctor she wants to without a consultation. Most of the time in the VA, we have to have a consultation if we want to go to a doctor. CHAMP VA, unless they've changed it, and I don't think they have, that spouse can go to any doctor that they want to. So, but that doesn't come into play until you're 100% disabled.
So how does one, and this is a question I don't know the answer to, but I suspect I do, how does one go from 90% to 100%? You
just have to submit a claim that you got another disability. Mm-hmm. It has to be new disability.
Can you upgrade an old disability?
Well, once you've got a disability, unless they come back and review it.
Okay, I guess that's a better word, to review the disability.
If they review it, they could take it away from you if you've gotten over what your problem was.
I see, yeah.
For instance, I know some guys that had cancer that went to 100%, and then they got in remission, and the VA went back and took it away from them.
But at the same time, a lot of things have changed as far as presumptives. So
with the PAC Act,
it has. And actually, 3 days ago, they made some new presumptive for post 9/11 veterans and Gulf War veterans. Certain cancers now are presumptive. Urinary bladder problems.
Let me finish this. So I know, I had cancer back in 2015, went to 100% overnight, and they haven't taken it away from me. My oncologist said it wasn't a question of if it comes back, but when it comes back.
Yeah.
So, but once you get to 100%, you got dental care. You got CHAMP VA. And if you go to a non-VA emergency room, they'll pay for that. But the kicker is you must call the VA within 72 hours and let them know that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
That has changed because it used to be 24 hours, but now it's 72 hours.
That's a little bit of relief.
Yeah. And 50 to 90%, you get 3 no-cost non-VA urgent care visits, which that's another new benefit. If you're rated 0%, and believe it or not, there is a 0% rating, and that makes you eligible for the DAV if you're rated 0%. But You get non-VA urgent care visits, but you have to, that's a $30 copay. Non-VA emergency room for service-connected conditions, non-service-connected condition. If you have other health insurance, must contact your VA within 72 hours. So there are some changes going on in our benefits, and that's one thing that we try to do with this radio show is try to keep you up to date. And it's really confusing sometimes. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't understand the VA math. Because, if you're 50%, and that means you got another 50% to get to 100, but right now you're just 50%, and they come back and they tell you, okay, we're going to rate you at 30% for this disability. So you would think that 50 and 30 is 80, but that's not the way the VA calculates it. What that is 50% of what you got left. So if you're at 50% and they raise you another 30%, that's 30% of what you got left, which would be about what? 30% of 50 is about 6%, something like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting math.
It's different.
So it almost sounds like they're taking the higher of the two. But then they'll add a small portion of the 50% left.
Yeah, well,
it is confusing. And that's why we have veteran services officers.
If they raise you 30%, if you're at 50 and they raise you 30, that's 50% of 30, which would be 15. Mm-hmm. So you would go from 50 to 65 instead of 50 to 80. So anyway. And if you're 100%, you go to a non-VA ER, you must contact your VA within 72 hours. Okay, Jimmy, what else you got on the VA this morning?
The VA, we've got a lot of things happening.
I kind of interrupted you a little bit there.
Oh, no. No, that's what these presumptives, the VA gets a bad rap. This isn't your grandfather or your great-grandfather's VA. They're changing every year to make it better, and what a presumptive is if you served in country in these places and you come down with these diseases, you come down with cancer and stuff, you don't have to prove you got it there anymore. Now it's presumptive. If you were in that location and you came down with this, that it's service-connected. So they've just upped service, or they've just made presumptives for certain cancers and certain urinary problems related to Gulf War veterans and post 9/11 veterans. I know right now they're looking at doing away with the co-pays for certain treatments. So they're looking at the health and overall health and wellness of a veteran, and like a physical, a checkup every year. They're looking at waiving the the co-pays, because in the long run that just helps the veteran and it helps the care of the veteran to keep them healthy.
Well, if you get 30% disabled, your copay goes away anyway.
Yeah, but this is even for the people who have no rating. So there's a lot of things coming, and like we say on the show numerous times, even if you've got a rating, don't assume that you're at the end of it, because if it was 10 years ago, more than likely half the stuff you got rated on has now become presumptive, and you no longer have to prove it's service-connected.
And the thing that I hear all the time from veterans who are not in the VA system is, I'm okay, I don't need the money.
There you go.
Why should I go to the VA? Well, for one thing, it's better than your outside doctors and that healthcare system. And that's my opinion, I guess, because they saved my life.
And Gary, let me add this. When folks are lobbying for benefits for veterans in Congress, one of the very first things they will ask the Veterans Administration is, how many veterans do you have signed up in the VA system? and they got to provide that number. That's just a fraction of the veterans that are out here in the country. So, our advice would be, even if you're 100% healthy and you feel like a 20-year-old when you're 70, register with the VA.
Get in that system.
Get in the system.
Because you never know when that catastrophic event's going to come.
Absolutely.
I spent 9 weeks in the VA hospital and 14 chemo treatments and a whole bunch of other medicine, and my bill was probably $1 million. I would be bankrupt.
Yeah.
But I didn't pay a penny.
Right.
I didn't have to pay a penny. So you never know when that catastrophic event's going to happen. So
and don't wait till it happens before you register.
Yeah. Get in that VA system, so if it does happen, you're taken care of.
So, Jimmy, how do we register with the VA?
The easiest way, we have some local VA, I'll call them care centers, like Arnold Air Force Base has one. Mm-hmm. But the easiest way I found is to go to the Murfreesboro VA system.
The Alvin York Center. Alvin
York Center. They have great people there. They've got, I think it's red vest on. They'll help you
They know
navigate.
how to do it.
Yeah, they navigate you. They'll get you an ID card. They'll get you, your first appointment will be with a primary care. It's usually about an hour, and that's just so that the doctor can get to know who they're seeing. They'll get to know what your ailments are. They'll look at your medical record. They'll draw blood. Like me, they did x-rays. I think I got a little bit of everything. But
they will check you out from head to toe.
What kind of paperwork do you have to take?
Your DD-214s.
Everybody knows what a DD-214 is. If you don't, look it up, because that is your lifeline to be able to get into the system.
We're trying to help a 90-year-old Navy veteran, and she did not have a DD-214 because they weren't issuing DD-214s.
That's true.
But she did have an honorable discharge.
Yeah.
And something I will recommend to every veteran, when you get out, if you have your DD-214, or even if you've been retired 20 years and you have a copy and you have never filed it at the courthouse, file it at the courthouse, because you never know when a catastrophe like a tornado or a fire or something will do away with that little piece of paper.
And you don't know where it is.
Or you don't know where it is.
Or you could lose it,
Or you could lose it. But it's safely secured in courthouse records.
And if you go to your VSO and you say, well, I don't have my DD-214, he can pick up the phone and call Johnny Reed's office and have your DD-214 in 10, 15 minutes, if you've registered it. But if you haven't registered it, they can't help you then.
That's right, yeah.
So if you go to Murfreesboro and you want to get in the system, when you go in the urgent care facility there, the first 3 offices on your left, all you got to do is go in one of those 3 cubicles, and they will sign you up if you're eligible. We always like to do some veteran-related music, so let's do our first song.
Time doesn't heal all wounds, and time isn't on my side. When it gets you down, they say give it up. You still carry that hurt around, you ain't giving it up enough. When you ask for help, they say get in line. And when all else fails, they say give it time. But time doesn't heal all wounds, time isn't on my side. Even beautiful sunsets fade, but old memories never die. When I close my eyes, I see a soldier from yesterday. I know that time goes by, Chopper flying overhead, can't help but notice that. I cried when I saw the flag just the other day. Yeah, long ago is really not all that far away, 'cause time doesn't heal all wounds. Time isn't on my side. Even beautiful sunsets fade, but old memories never die. When I close my eyes, I see a soldier's younger face. I know that time goes by, but it never goes away. It's like I'm walking on a bridge I can never cross, wondering if the victory's ever worth the cost. And the slightest little trigger always sets it off, 'cause time doesn't heal all wounds, and time isn't on my side. Even beautiful sunsets fade, but old memories never die. When I close my eyes, I see a soldier from yesterday. I know that time goes by, but it never goes away. No, it never goes away.
All right, that was Steve Williams singing Time Doesn't Always Heal. And we'll be hearing 2 or 3 more songs from Steve, but we're here this morning with Jimmy Miller, my co-host, Alan Harris, commander of the Post 44 in Winchester. And we're trying to give you some veteran information here about the VA that hopefully will help you navigate through the system, because it can be confusing. And the question was, how do I get into the VA system? One, you can go see your local VSO. Ben Ely is our local VSO, and he's in the basement of the courthouse, and there are no steps. All you got to, there's a ramp down there, so if you're in a wheelchair or a walker, you can get to his office very easily. It's in the basement of the courthouse. And Ben's number is 931-685-4838. That's 931-685-4838. He can help you get started in the VA system, or you can go to Murfreesboro, to Alvin C. York. And when you go in the door, there are 3 offices right there on the left. If you go into one of those 3 cubicles, they will sign you up for the VA if you're eligible. But be sure and take your DD 214.
Do you have to have an appointment?
No. Now, if you're going to see Ben Ely, you need to get an appointment.
Yeah.
Because if he's helping somebody, it could be an hour and a half before he gets through with that person. And that is a very busy office. So, again, if you want to go see our VSO, and he does a great job, see Ben Ely, basement of the courthouse, 685-4838, area code 931. While I got a minute here, I want to thank some people. You know, back in November, we had 3 turkey shoots. I want to thank everybody that came out and shot and donated to our cause, and everybody that helped us. It was a very big success. We had a lot of fun. Jimmy, was you there?
I was not. I had a bunch of stuff going on those weekends.
Well, you need to put something down for next year then, so you can join in on the fun, because we do have a good time there. And then Wreaths Across America, we laid, about 2,500 wreaths, wasn't it?
I think so, 2,600.
That's a big deal.
In December, I believe that was December the 17th that we did that. And I want to thank everybody that came out to help us lay those wreaths. I know I did Press Grove in Unionville. I want to thank those ladies and Charlie Moore for coming out and helping us. And it doesn't take long when you got enough help.
That's right. And along those lines, and this is the reason I wore my hat today, Wreaths Across America, tomorrow is the last day where you can go online and order a wreath and get a match. So last year, I think the wreaths were $17. I'm pretty sure they're still the same for this year, but if you go online and order a wreath, you get a matching wreath.
For next year?
So it's 2 for 1, for next year.
Okay.
For 2025.
I didn't know that. Tim knows that.
So if you're out there listening,
I'll talk to him.
And you're a supporter of Wreaths Across America, and I sure think it's a worthwhile endeavor, go ahead and order your wreaths today. The deadline is tomorrow to get, and you can order them anytime throughout the year, but the deadline for getting a matching donation for your wreath is tomorrow, January 14th. So let's do that.
And then another thing that American Legion does is the American Legion Big Brothers feed Bedford County at Christmas time. We pack 200 food boxes and deliver them to the needy in the county.
Wow, 200?
Yeah, with veterans being at the top of the list, and then families with children, and then everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We delivered 200 boxes this year. I want to thank everybody that came out and helped us. We had to move the food from the Piggly Wiggly to the Masonic Lodge, and then had to build the boxes. And then the next day we filled the boxes. Believe it or not, we filled 200 boxes in an hour and a half.
So you had plenty of support.
We had plenty of help that day, yeah.
Lots of volunteers.
Yeah. And then 2 days later, we delivered them on the 23rd, which was a Saturday. And we were through delivering by 1 o'clock. We started delivering at 9, and I think the last load went out about 1.
Do you have...
And we didn't have enough boxes. We had 200. We had about, 16 to 20 more names that didn't get a box because they were late getting their name in. So.
Right. Do you include comfort items like toothpaste, deodorant, toilet paper, napkins, anything of that nature?
It's all food items.
Yeah.
It's all food items.
And I say that, Gary, because our church was involved in that this year, and I noticed that a lot of folks and we kind of run it like a grocery store in our church gymnasium. I noticed a lot of folks cycling through. They picked up a few food items, not as many as I thought. But when they got to the comfort items that we brought to put in, they made sure to get all their comfort items. And I was puzzled by that. Yeah. And here's the answer. I didn't know this, and I'm 70 years old. They said the EBT doesn't cover those.
Right.
It covers food.
It covers food.
It does not cover comfort items or sanitary type items. So, I got to make a mental note of that to make sure that our donation to the church next year includes a lot of those.
And I want to say thank you to Moose. Phil Mahaffey, Moose, if you're listening, we appreciate you. Moose delivers more. He's been doing it for 50 years.
Thank goodness for Moose.
He delivers more food boxes than any of us. And he's 75 years old, but he loves it. He looks forward to it every year. A lot of us do, because if you've never helped us with this program, you're missing a blessing.
Yes, it is a blessing.
Because when you go and carry a food box into somebody's house that didn't know they was going to have a Christmas dinner,
yeah,
and you see Granny's Granny, tears well up in Granny's eyes, and Mama, and then you see the smiles on the children. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Sure is.
It was called the Big Brothers paper sale for years and years, and it was always been an American Legion function. I can remember back when I was, 7, 8 years old, on Sunday morning, you'd hear somebody knock on our door, and my daddy would go to the door, and it would be Big Brother soliciting donations. He'd always give them what he could, but that's the way they used to do it. But it's got to where we don't have enough help to do that. So we depend on sponsors donating and
right.
And we have to raise money. We raise money for it. It cost us right at $10,000 this year. Of course, I'll just go ahead and tell you, one of our fundraisers is a golf tournament that we do every year, and this year the golf tournament's going to be April the 14th at Riverbend. We're moving it to Riverbend Country Club this year, and so if you can sponsor, you want to put a team in, get in touch with me or Tim Estes or Jimmy Miller, and my number is 931-580-2865. What's yours, Jimmy?
My number is 931-581-5948.
What's Tim's?
Well, I have my phone right here. Let me look. I just talked to him yesterday.
You got your phone book right there with you, and mine is in my truck.
Okay, so to contact Tim Estes, it's 931-703-3755.
And we have different level sponsorships. $100 for a whole sponsor. A bronze sponsor, I believe, is $300. Silver sponsors, $500. Gold sponsor, $750, and a platinum sponsor is $1,000. So whatever level, if you can't give 100 and you just want to give 10, we'll take it. We'll take whatever we can get because it goes for a good cause. It helps us fill these food boxes every year.
And it's your biggest fundraiser.
It's our biggest. We do it in conjunction with the Shelbyville Kiwanis Club. Terry Stevenson, the president of the Kiwanis Club, came to me about 4 years ago, and he said, let's do a golf tournament, split the money. So last year we took in just under $20,000, and by the time we paid our bills, American Legion got $5,500 and the Kiwanis Club got $5,500. So that's our biggest fundraiser. And again, we'll be doing that on April the 14th. Right now, we're already soliciting sponsors and trying to get our teams. And so if you want to play, let us know.
And even if you don't want to play.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. And I'm not a golfer, and I had a good time.
It was embarrassing, wasn't it?
It's a 4-person scramble.
Yeah.
So I say 4-person, not 4-man, because we do have some lady golfers that come out and play. And shotgun start, lunch at 11. Shotgun start at 12:30. So let's do one more song. Whoever's in there, Chase, Chase is running the board today.
He saluted you.
I was only 6 years old. It was me and G.I. Joe. Hid behind the old oak tree. We were fighting off the enemy. Just about face to feet when a couple of kids come running down the street, joining with the infantry. Soldier up, gather the troops, soldier up. Yeah, that's what you do when you know you're out your buddy's got your back. Soldier up. I opened my eyes, I was 21. I was staring down the barrel of a 51, trying hard to understand how to stand my ground in a foreign land. Bullets started flying, we were trying to survive. I swore before God we were all gonna die. Somehow we made it out alive. Soldier up, gather the troops. Soldier up, yeah, that's what you do when you know you're outnumbered. You're under attack, just like that. You find out your buddy's got your back. Soldier up. It's been years since I made it home, but it seems the war wants to linger on. All the smells, the sights and sounds keep coming at me round after round. Oh, but I'm alright, I'm gonna be okay. I'll be swapping stories with my buddies today. We're gonna gather down at the VA. Soldier up, gather the troops. Soldier up, that's what you do when you know you're outnumbered. You're under attack, just like that. You find out your buddy's got your back. Soldier up. I was only 6 years old. It was me and G.I. Joe.
All right, we're back again with Steve Williams. That song was called Soldier Up. That was a table ride over to Murfreesboro alumni of Operation Song. And we're here this morning with Jimmy Miller and Alan Harris, commander of the American Legion in Winchester. Jimmy, you know, we're always recruiting. We don't 4,000 veterans in Bedford County, and we've got about 80 in our local American Legion, and 150 in our local DAV. So we need to recruit some people for these two organizations.
Why is it important to belong to an organization like the American Legion or the VFW or the DAV? Why is that important?
Because the American Legion and the DAV, they lobby for us in Washington.
And they need money.
But so does your local. We need money.
Right.
You know, because we do things like our feed Bedford County, you know, and reach across America. We need money, so we need help, because the more that we get, the more people that we get in, the more help we have, and the more things we can do. For instance, when we have our golf tournament, we go out and solicit businesses to donate, and when you say veteran in Bedford County, they open their pocketbooks.
It's the same in Franklin County.
I will say that Bedford County supports their veterans. We just need to get more veterans in our organizations. So, Jimmy, tell us when the meetings are for these, and the location.
Okay, I will do. And besides just the money and the lobbying, the camaraderie is huge in our different organizations. I mean, when you're in the military, camaraderie is a big thing. You've got all your friends, soldiers, and everything. That's what we're just a bunch of old vets sitting around trying to do good in the community.
And we speak a common language.
We do speak a common language, and most people don't speak. So I would invite you to come out to one of these meetings. And for our Post 23 American Legion, we're located at 1355 Highway 130 East. East is very important. We meet on the first Tuesday of the month, and we have meat provided by Rowdy Ranch. All we ask is you bring a covered dish, and spouses are welcome at these events.
We eat real good.
Absolutely. I've been to a couple of your feeds over there, and
Rowdy Ranch.
They really put on the feed bag at Post 23.
We want to thank Rowdy Ranch because they provide our meat at no charge, and have been doing it for the last 5 years. So thank you, Tony Edwards, and you and your crew. And they do the same thing for the DAV.
They do. And our DAV Chapter 43, their location is also 1355 Highway 130 East. They meet on the second Tuesday of the month, and as he said, the meal is provided by Rowdy Ranch. All we ask is you bring a covered dish, and spouses are welcome at this event too. We welcome spouses.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, once we get you in there, it's not expensive. It's $50 a year for the American Legion.
That's one less hamburger a month.
Yeah, that's about right.
I mean, at today's prices, that's one less hamburger a month.
So, $50 will get you in for a year. And then the DAV, they have a lifetime membership. I believe it's $325 for a lifetime, and you can pay it $40 a month if you want to, and still be in the DAV. The American Legion also has a lifetime. I don't remember. It depends on your age, just how much your lifetime is in the American Legion, and it is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I personally am not a paid up for life, and it's because I would have to be something like 87 to realize a full benefit of the money that I paid out. So I just
I'm
paid
not a life
major.
member of the American Legion either. I've been paying $50 for the for quite a while now. And
oh, by the way, just so everybody knows, 38 of that 50 goes to the department and the national level.
Exactly. Your local gets to keep $12.
$12, yeah.
If we charge $50, that's set by the post. Whatever it's got to be at least $38.
It has to be a minimum of 38, or you're losing money.
Yeah. So come out and join us. We have a good time. We try to do good for our community and for our veterans. That's what this show is all about. It's not about just recruiting. It's about telling you about your veteran benefits. What's coming down that you have earned. What's coming down the pipe, Because if you don't know to take advantage of it. And that's what our show is all about, is trying to help veterans to navigate that system. They do a good job, I think. If you go to the VA, there's a sign that says, if you're not in your appointment within 20 minutes, let us know, And good gracious, if you go to a local doctor, you might get in an hour, and you might not.
Yeah.
I think that VA Nashville and VA Murfreesboro do a great job.
And here's the thing, I can't emphasize this enough, and Gary, you mentioned this earlier. Let your VSO handle it. You tell them as best you can what you think your problem is, and then let them handle it. They know the right paperwork, they know the right people to talk to, they know the right place to go. They're worth their weight in gold, and they're paid. They're basically a part-time workforce.
Exactly.
And they're paid by the county funds. So these men and women out there, and there are women VSO folks out there too.
We haven't.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Ben Ely has an admin, Kara, and she's who you're going to talk to if you call up there.
Well, in Franklin County, it's Bobby Clark, and Bobby Clark has 2 assistants.
Okay.
And Bobby will tell you himself that Michelle and her counterpart know more about the right thing to do, when to do it, than he does, because he's a great guy, but he's a politician.
Yeah.
He likes to go out there and drum up the business and talk to people, and he does a wonderful job. And Michelle, and I can't think of the other lady's name, but I think they're sisters-in-law.
Okay. But Ben Ely is ours here in Shelbyville. He does a great job. He keeps up to date because he's always going to training. He keeps up to date on what's going on.
That's because it changes a lot. There's a lot of changes.
It changes. There's something changing every day.
Something changing all the time.
And we have another service in Bedford County that some counties don't have, and that is if you need to go to your doctor's appointment. We have Bill Tucker, who oversees this program. He's got 2 other drivers. We have 3 drivers. 3 vehicles, so we'll take you to your doctor's appointment, pick you up at your house, take you to your appointment, and bring you back home. And I don't know how many counties do that. Most of them you have to get to a central location.
Coffee County used to have it, as did Franklin County, and it's maybe the Elizabeth Dole Act will help change that.
But Bill Tucker does a super job. He's very conscientious. He is very conscientious. And if you need a ride to your doctor's appointment or your hospital appointment, try to give Bill 48 hours notice. He knows that the VA messes up sometimes and you have to go without 48 hours notice. But
yeah. Now, does Moose do any of that?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to say, Moose loves to do what he does and has done a great job over the years. I wonder if he might want to pitch in and be part of that bride delivery.
Well, that's a 45-minute trip from here.
That's a good haul, and it's not. There's no easy way to get there.
Can you handle him for 45 minutes? That's the question.
Can you handle the jaw? Does he like to talk?
He absolutely does. Well, Bill Tucker's number, let me give you that right quick. Again, he wants 48 hours notice if it's possible. 931-607-7178. 931-607-7178.
Is that a cell phone?
It is.
Okay.
Well, which I told on the show the last time, and I just got to experience this, was community care. I'd heard that it's a bear and so much trouble, so I signed up for community care. I had to go to Murfreesboro and see my doctor, but for chiropractor, easiest process ever. They looked, said, yes, you need to see a chiropractor. They're paying for me to see a chiropractor here in Bedford County.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, describe what community care is. It means being cared for locally rather than having to go to the VA center.
It is, and it's not just chiropractor. It's any specialist, any doctor. If you've got a bona fide need for it, the VA will pay and let you see the doctor here in your community. And it's not, I've heard it's a long process. It's a hard, very nice people. Ask me what I need, call me, ask me when I want my appointment set up. Very easy process. You just got to get it started.
Yeah.
Well, that came about mainly because the VA system was overloaded, and people were complaining, I can't get to my primary care doctor for 3 months or 90 days or whatever. Or I can't see this doctor or that doctor. So if it's over, I think it's 20 days, something like that, and you can't see your primary care, they will send you to community care. and they're expanding that program all the time. And another thing, and this is one of my pet peeves, I guess. I hear all the time, I need to go to the VA. I can't see my primary care for 90 days. If you're sick, you don't have to see your primary care. If you're injured, you don't have to see your primary care. Go to the VA. If you're going to Nashville, go to the ER. If you're going to Murfreesboro, go to urgent care. They will see you that day and write up a report and email it to your doctor, to your primary care, and tell them that you were in there and what was wrong with you and what they did for you. So that excuse for not getting in the VA is not valid, because they will see you the day you need the help. So
that's anyway. A good point. How about Arnold Air Force Base?
They do.
I'll have to ask about that, and the reason I say that is because their medical facility is behind the gate.
Right.
So you have to get through the gate.
Well, you have to have an ID card.
You have to have an ID card to get through the gate.
Well, if you go to Murfreesboro and get your VA ID card, they can actually make Arnold your primary care clinic. So you can go right to Arnold and see the doctor.
But you still have to get an ID
you
card.
You got to get the card.
Yep, you got to get the card.
Or you won't get through the gate. Because they do what everybody else does these days. They pull your ID card up and they go, beep, and then they run it through the system.
Guys, time has flown by, Alan. We appreciate you coming this morning.
I love being here because I learn a lot. You know, I think I'm coming here to give information, but I get more than I give, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Yes,
we appreciate it, Jimmy. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, and thanks to all our listeners.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll play one more song.